Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we've got a battery ground upgrade. Take a look at mine. It's pretty bad. Pretty frayed, pretty rusty. Let's change that out to something fresh and we'll get a better connection here. You can see it attaches right to the transmission as one of the chassis grounds. The other end connects to my ground for the battery. And there's a second one here underneath the fuse box going to the chassis. These 2 points look really bad. You can see the rust and the corrosion. Let's change those out. I've already went to the trouble of removing the battery and the battery box, including the battery tie down. Allows me to get in there and clean that up. Also note I'll be retaining this plastic holder for the battery ground cable to come up cleanly, and that will allow it to connect back to the battery. Goes right up through the loop. So I'll be saving that for later. Fast forward a little bit. I've already removed the fuse box. There it is there, out of the way to get to our chassis ground. I've already loosened it a little and it looks like it's due for a replacement. Here's the support brackets for the fuse box. You can see the clip goes through that square opening. My clips were pretty brittle, so they broke on a few places, but that's okay. As long as it sits on top of those brackets, you'll be fine. There's a few screws there on the side. I've already taken the liberty of taking them out. And let's remove that chassis ground to get it out of there. I won't need that anymore. Looks like an 8. But I've already loosened it, so I'm just going to finish it up with my hand just to show you. Yeah, that's due for removal. Let's get rid of that. Now back to the chassis ground. We can see here, I've already sanded the paint down. You want to expose that metal so there's good contact. And here I've already done that on the other side as well. You can see here how shiny it is. Take all that rust off. I just used a wire wheel and maybe some sandpaper too. While we're here, we can also check the transmission fluid level. You can see the yellow dipstick right beside the battery box. Now's a good time because it's really hard to get to. You'll want that transmission oil to cover the dipstick at least halfway. And it looks like we're good. So back you go. Okay, on to making a new cable for the chassis ground and for the battery ground. Here's my copper connector and my wire. You can get these for a few bucks each. Highly recommend you get those, at least in a couple of them. And my propane torch. You'll need that to heat up the copper. Definitely recommend you get one of these quick starts. It's just a push away to get going. Release the valve. After you screwed it on tightly, of course, and push the button, there we go. So what you'll do is you get that copper as hot as you can in the vise and dump your solder right inside. That will heat it up as hot as you can get it. And then you can insert your wire. Give it a few seconds, and it'll be as hard as rock. It's the best way to do it, and the most secure way to do it. You don't want to lose that ground on the highway because there's a lot of vibrations and things can get tugged. So that's a secure connection right there. You can see I've just heated up the base of that copper and connected it. You don't want to go too much because it will take off the coating. Also, I should mention a quick little tip on how to get these bolts squeaky clean. You can see this one's almost mint condition now, and it used to look like this, pretty rusted up. Best way to do that, a wire wheel attached to a drill. Put the nut in the vise and give it a spin. It'll come out nice and clean. And you won't have to worry about any stuck bolts in the future. Also looks a lot nicer. You can see it almost looks brand new. You can't tell it used to look like that before. You can see I've already went ahead and attached the tranny ground for the battery. Looks really clean, very secure. And we'll take the other one I've connected as well, the chassis. And we're ready to connect both back to the battery. Now with the battery back in and the tie down connected, we can see everything's running just as expected. Looks good. I've got an aftermarket ground connection to my battery. It allows a lot more connections should I need to, but for now I've just got the two. And I recommend you get a positive ground protector as well. Makes it a lot easier to make disconnects if you need to for quick servicing. And for reference, I'm using 8-gauge wire on both grounds. Looks pretty clean, except for my battery tie down, of course. I've already painted that I don't know how many times, but it is what it is. So we'll get to that another day. Thanks for watching. Hope you can see it's quite easy. If you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment below and like and subscribe if you like what you see. So I try to do everything RSX, and I have all the videos here for everybody to view. Check some of them out. Here they are. Take care now.